Welcome to a lecture about branding. So today we're going to talk about branding to help prepare you for your branding project, your brand yourself project. First of all, let's define what a brand is. A brand is not just an icon, but it has all sorts of features that identifies you with your audience. And so we're going to talk about the different parts. So a brand is the not only the logo, it's also the tone of voice that you converse with your audience. It's what you have with your logo and your color palette and the typography that you choose. All of those things used consistently create your brand. It also has a lot to do with where you advertise, how well you know your audience and where you can best put your advertisement and your communications so that they will see it. There's a lot of sponsoring and partnerships that go along with branding. Like, for instance, a really good example is what Red Bull does. They sponsor a lot of the extreme sports because that's the audience that they're looking for. They want the young, energetic people who need extra energy. It's also how you package the product that you're selling. You can't have a generic package and make it different colors every time and have any kind of consistency. It's also the in-store experience. If any of you have ever gone to an Apple store, that is a complete experience that helps you, it sets the tone for what the Apple experience is. So that's what it's talking about there. Um, it's just so many different things. The customer service, how they price things. Apple's another good example of the pricing strategy. They do not want to be the cheapest item that you can buy. They do not want people who shop strictly for price. They want people who shop for a lot more, the experience, the ease of use, so many things. So all of those things put together makes a brand. So what is your brand? Are you humble? Are you jubilant? Are you serious or charming or provocative? Are you a hard worker? Do you show up on time? All of those things make up your own brand because we each have a brand. One case study was Nike and their personality. Everybody knows the swoosh. Everybody recognizes it on clothes and on shoes and all those kinds of things. But it goes beyond just branding clothing and items. It also um, targets people who are into exercise and into playing sports and that sort of thing too. And it creates excitement. You know that a Nike product is going to make you run faster, jump higher, do better at and excel. So Nike, that is their brand personality, is excitement. Another case study was done on Apple, and you can look all these things up if you want. Their brand personality is summed up with the word of sophistication. And although I like to put myself into that group too, I guess I am sort of a computer snob and a phone snob because I do prefer Apple products. They just work, and that's it, period. So if that makes me a snob, I guess I'm a snob. So, what is your brand? You need to ask yourself some questions. If a brand were a person, what would it be like? So, what are you like? Are you trustworthy? Are you driven? Are you laid back and easygoing? And think about how you feel and you behave also. There's a lot of ways to sort of start determining your core values. You can have a list like this one and just go through and check them or uh, put a number value on it, whatever you want to do. But you can start choosing from a list of words like this and even come up with some of your own. Or you can use a mind map. You start off with yourself, your personality, and do you like sports? Do you like to go outdoors? Are you meticulous? Are you studious? All of those things, and then start writing words that mean the same thing as studious or other ideas that go along with that. So you can do that. Or you can play a game. And if we were in for a face-to-face class, we would be playing a game called Campaign. Not Notice that the G is left out. I really didn't misspell it. There's a guy who's from California who I had the opportunity to see a presentation from him, and he had us play this game. And basically, it was just a bunch of cards that had all these different things that named off all these things. Like the wild card might be recycling, the medium might be social media, the product might be hair products, the demographic would be like the young people, the Generation Zs, and the tone would be like campy or something like that. And so the idea of the game was to put together a campaign for someone who had those kind of attributes. And since we're not together, I'm not gonna, and you're doing this on your own asynchronously, I'm not going to try and whip up some kind of game because I think that would be really hard for us all to get anything out of it. What I want you to do is to use this document, and it's in the Google Drive that you've been going to for all the different different files. And I want you to think about your brand. Your brand, I want you to think about what kind of product you're selling, what your demographic is. So if you're selling yourself, you're wanting to actually get a job in the industry. So you are the product. The demographics would be people who are probably like mid to upper management, people that are at least a millennial, if not a Generation X. I don't think you'd get too many baby boomers in there, but you might get a few. And your tone, you want to be uh, creative, trustworthy, all of these different things that you can think of. List those things that you want people to know about yourself. And how are you going to actually get this word out to your demographic? Are you going to use email? Are you going to have a mail campaign where you're mailing everybody you can think of? Are you going to walk in the front door? Think about how you're going to present yourself. LinkedIn, by the way, is a very good medium for you to use to promote yourself to the professional world. And then if you've got a wild card, not everybody does, but let's say that you are a videographer and all of these other things are very corporate, very advertising agency, and then you like to do videography. That's a wild card. That's a special thing. Wild card is actually special. And then any other things that you can think of that are part of your brand. So I want you to fill out this sheet. I think that's the easiest way. If you would rather use one of the other ones, like if you wanted to use the mind map, or if you wanted to just start checking off a list, that's fine. Whatever gets you to the actual end product is what you need to do. So I want you to do all of those things, and I want you to think about what your brand is representing. And so I want you to think about your logo. I want you to do some symbols that illustrate your brand. I mean, you could use your initials. That seems to be what everybody does. I did that myself. So but I want you to think about how to best illustrate your brand. There was an example of someone that was in a class of mine. He was wanting to go into real estate. He was getting marketing so he could market his own real estate. So anyway, his name had CASA in it. That was just part of his last name. And so he made his brand all around casa, like mi casa, su casa. So just think about something like that that will stick in somebody's head. So that's what your logo should be. And I want you to just on paper, just sketch some ideas about what you would like to do and then email those to me. I'm not going to necessarily have a grade on that, but I do want to see what you're doing, and I'd like to see that before you get started on the next part of the project. So anyway, I'm going to stop the video here in a second, and then let you work on all of that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to talk about what the Brand Yourself products that I want you to produce will be, because you do have to make some images, some files. So if you have questions, please let me know. and I will see you in the next video.